In this video, I'm going to right away cover the structures for all 8 parts of the CELPIP speaking exam that ensure you finish everything on time, you cover all important points. More importantly, it forces you to keep under the strict rule of quality points over quantity points. Once you follow the structure, you'll see how brilliantly you're able to organize all your ideas and get a good score. Let's start with question number 1. Your sibling is getting addicted to caffeine. Advise him or her ways to get rid of it. This is the very first question in your exam. All you got to do here is start by a greeting. Hello, hi, how are you? Talk to the sibling. Something which is a good start and relevant to this type of question is, I heard, or let's talk about your. In the I heard, you would say, I heard about your problem with the caffeine addiction. I have a few suggestions for you. And then you go ahead after the intro to your very first point. Firstly, or you could say to start with, to begin with, then you explain this point for 20 seconds. Next point, start with something like furthermore or moreover. Third point, lastly. And with each point, you want to give it 20 seconds. That would amount to 3 points totaling 1 minute. That means the remaining time will be for the intro that we already did and for the upcoming conclusion, which could go something like, I hope you really understand all my points and are able to apply them effectively. Let me know if you have any questions. Take care. Just a greeting that wraps up everything, finishes things off. Okay, that's the structure. 3 points only, 2 are good, 1 is terrible. Okay, 3 is your best friend. Moving on to question number 2, your biggest regret. You want to talk about this? Here you start by a random general sentence, which could go something like, I've had many regrets in life. One of them was when, and then you talk about that. Now, when you start talking about that, you want to mention 2 to 3 points and think of this as explaining the features, which would define the exact point of regret. So you gave an old lady wrong directions. Where did it happen? When did it happen? And how the event unfolded. She was asking to go there, but I sent her here by mistake and so on. So 2 to 3 points here, just defining the moment and the features of this moment. Later, you want to add a point about feeling. Was it an important moment? Did it make you feel good? Did it make you feel bad? If there were other people involved, how did they feel? And that conveys the importance of the topic. It adds the adjectives to the topic, and it nicely wraps up the ending. From here, you go to your final last sentence here. You say, overall, I felt this, or overall, I regretted this because, and wrap it up. Okay, now going to the picture question. Once again, here in question 2, question 3, question 4, we try not to do more than 5 points. 3 to 4 points total are gonna keep you with good quality points, with each point being explained with good descriptions, adjectives, and adverbs, which will add to your marks for a range of vocabulary and expressions, instead of you saying too many things. And that's where people say, this guy's doing this guy's doing this, she's doing this, and none of the things are being explained nicely. So here, once again, with the picture, you want to start by talking about the picture generally. This picture is portraying the scene of a summer afternoon, most likely, with a family event taking place. On my right and left, and now you start getting into the picture after the intro. So here you want to keep, how you want to think of this is think about the main points, and that could be 2 to 3, and the extra points. So here's how that works. If I'm looking at this picture, I'm looking at this guy. He's in the center with the costume and surrounded by children holding hands with family. So this is definitely the thing I have to mention. Then there are these pergolas or tents, you can say, where they're setting up something. So something is being set up. That's going to be the next thing I'm going to say. There's a host in the center, pretty central. I think she's important. I cannot ignore her. So I will mention her and how she is leading this whole show. Those are my 3 things that I'm going to tell myself I have to mention. I cannot ignore these because when the time runs out, students have to make decisions. What things are you going to say and what things are you going to ignore? So here you get the most important things in first. Then what I can say if I have extra time left will be my extra points, 1 to 2 points, which could include this photographer, could include the shop in the back, could include Parking could include the greenery in the background, and that's how I'm going to plan my timing efficiently. I'll make sure to get the main points in and always have room for extra. If I have room, I can explain more. Great. If I don't have room, okay, at least I got the main stuff in. Make sure to keep describing the adjectives. Don't just say what people are doing, but talk about how they're feeling, how they look, frustrated, happy, engaged, etc. Same thing applies here. And this is usually easier to apply because now you just have to build on what you have already said. In part 4, this question, what do you think will happen next? You simply define what happens next based on what you already said. So if you said in the previous answer that the lady is making everybody feel very happy, now in this part, what happens next? You could say she's probably gonna up her game even more and start to dance with the kids, leading to a jubilation of feelings with both parents and kids alike. And then build on the other points that you mentioned before as well. So here you just build on the 3 to 4 points. If you have said 3 to 4, if you have said, let's say 4, in the last question, you build on 4. And likewise for 3 or 5 points. Just don't exceed 5. Keep good quality, not quantity. When we go to question number 5, where you have 2 options, you pick one option. For example, you picked the vegan option, you have to compare it against the fast food option. The structure here is you start with the greeting, and in this case, you're talking to your friend. So you talk to the friend, greet him or her, and mention, hey, listen, I understand you love fast food. However, if we consider the vegan option, here is what, and then here you start with your points. You gotta make sure here and this is where the focus shifts, by the way. You gotta make sure you include all points here and not ignore anything within the 1 minute. So when I say the focus shifts, I'm talking about doing quantity, as much quantity as possible. If you can do all the points, you're a superstar. By that, I mean your points as well as the opposing side's points. You have to compare. Don't just talk about your stuff only. But I don't want to say we're doing more quantity now and less quality. I'm not saying that. You want to mix both quantity and quality. You have to explain everything, but with good quality. For example, quantity would simply be, look, vegan has very low fat. It contains essential this, and fast food is delicious, but this vegan helps skin rejuvenation. You're just reading. But quantity would be saying things at a good pace, ensuring everything gets said, but with good descriptions. For example, look, I understand the fast food is very cheap and it's fun. You will love eating it. However, if you just sacrifice the fun for a little bit, you can save on the fat content, plus boost your health with essential micros and nutrients. We know right now you have some health risks, which is why we got to look at these options. So here we're adding our own touch and explanation to the written content, but again, saying things and moving on to other things quicker than just being stuck on certain points, because we don't have that luxury here. We only have 1 minute. Okay, you finish off by a greeting at the end. Let me know your thoughts. Take care. It's usually very brief, very quick like that, because you will be running short on time in part 5. Part 6 is a different story. You got to pick one of the options here. Now here you're a call center agent dealing with an old lady who does not want to pay for increased rates. So you can tell your boss to make an exception for her, or tell the old lady she got to pay. So here, if I talk to the old lady, I'm going to tell her we're going to greet her. And in this case, we're already talking to her. Let's see the question. You are dealing with an old lady, so you don't need to say, hello, how are you? You can start by being in the situation. Miss whoever, Adams, you can make up a name. Miss Adams, I understand your concern. It is truly very troubling at this moment with price increases. However, and this is how you're going to start based on this situation. In other situations, if you are meeting someone, greeting is okay. Hello, hi, how are you? I understand that we are dealing with this. This is my point of view, or these are my thoughts. And you start with that intro. So once you get your intro in, you want to mention 2 to 3 points. Okay, 2 to 3 points giving your rationale. So you're a company man, you are in a call center, and your boss said there's going to be no exceptions. That's 1 point right there. You explain to the lady that right now we have a strict cost concern, and we at the company have no flexibility at the moment. We need to do this in order for our bottom line. The second point could be something else. We did have a major discount offering last month. However, those coupons and promotions have completely run out, leaving us with no option but to go with standard prices. So you mentioned 1 to 2 things. You want to mention the background and give some clue or hints to what your argument is. But at the third point, you want to relate to this person emotionally. If you're talking to your boss, you're going to emotionally relate, look, that lady, I feel really bad for her. She's like my mother or grandmother, and I'm sure you would understand how disappointing it would be for us to do this to her. So you explain your rationale. To the old lady, you can explain how this is so troubling for you. It's a difficult decision, and you want to do your best in your heart to help her, but you cannot. So here is where we go emotional. If you're talking to your spouse, friends, family, you go with the apology in many cases. I'm so sorry. I'm very apologetic. I understand this is not what you wanted. However, I hope you understand that. And I'll get back to your point and wrap it up with a greeting. I hope you understand that my hands are tied in this case as per company policy. I hope you are able to agree with us on this. But if there's anything else I can do for you today, please do let me know. Based on the condition, you do the greeting at the end. Now here, we're once again given the 90-second question where you have a debate question. Vacation pay should be eliminated as it is a burden on the employer as well as businesses. Once again, you are going to do 3 points here. Before you do the 3 points, you want to mention your opinion firmly. I firmly believe, or I'm of the stance that, give your opinion. 3 reasons, firstly, secondly, thirdly. Remember, each reason should be 20 seconds only. So you have 1 minute for the body, and then the intro and conclusion are the remaining time. Conclusion is simply going to rephrase your opinion. Based on everything I mentioned, due to economic reasons, whatever you mentioned, economic reasons, and just to keep businesses alive, it is imperative that we take care of vacation pay in a more corporate manner instead of an emotional manner. Wrap it up. And that's it. Then we go to the last question, which is always tricky. This is always different. And in this case, you have a creepy picture of a guy on a spider. And you're seeing this in a gallery with this wall art. You got to call your local art gallery and describe the picture so they can add something similar. Okay, so you're going to call them. And that, again, the intro and conclusion here are always different because in this case, I'm calling the art gallery. In some cases, I'm calling an insurance company. In some cases, I'm calling 911. So in this case, it's going to be based on this situation. Hi there, my name is, and this is very good when you're calling someone in part 8 speaking, who is someone you don't know, family or friends. They're not those people. So I'm calling just a random company. So hi there, my name is Sean. I wanted to talk about this really amazing picture or art I'm seeing at this gallery, which you should put in your gallery. And now you start defining the picture. So you define the picture. Once again, keep the rules from parts 3 and 4. Don't do more than 5 points. And again, start with the main points that you want to really cover. So of course, you're going to talk about the spider and the old guy. You're going to talk about the ants around and the spider web. Those are 3 must-do things that I'm going to include. And then points 4 and 5 could be the scenery, like it's in a farm or a green area. And I can also talk about the words here, the committed and room and kind of random words that are out there. But that's going to be those other random things, or the things in the background are going to be said if I have enough time. And that's why I'm going to keep my strategy of 3 to 5 points. 3 points must get in, and others if I have time. Finally, you wrap it up with whatever the question is prompting you to do. In this case, you want to convince them to hang this in their art gallery. So you finish up by saying, I hope you could add something similar. It would just really draw up the intrigue of the visiting audience. That's it. And that's how you structure each of your CELPIP speaking questions effectively for a good band score. If you want more detailed lessons and hours of lectures as well as mock tests on CELPIP speaking and other modules, check out our CELPIP 15-hour course that guarantees your improvement or your money back. Link is in the description. Take care.